The horrors lurking beneath the earth are not confined to the catacombs of Paris. In a remote corner of West Virginia, nestled within the Appalachian Mountains, lies a network of abandoned coal mines. This desolate underground world would become the setting for a different, equally terrifying tale. Meet Emily, a young geologist with an unquenchable thirst for adventure, and her childhood friend Mark, a rugged outdoorsman with a fondness for urban legends. They ventured into the darkness beneath the mountains, armed with headlamps, pickaxes, and a determination to explore the abandoned mine shafts that had long been forgotten by the world above. Their initial enthusiasm faded as they descended deeper into the earth. The tunnels were damp, their walls slick with a mysterious glowing substance. The air grew heavy with a metallic scent, and the sound of their footsteps reverberated through the labyrinthine passages. In the depths of the mine, they stumbled upon something that defied all reason, an underground lake, its waters unnaturally still, and its surface reflecting a twisted mirror image of reality. Emily dipped a hand into the water, only to feel an icy grip pull her arm down. Panic set in as Mark struggled to free her from the lake's grasp, but the horrors had only just begun. Strange, otherworldly creatures emerged from the shadows, their grotesque forms barely visible in the dim light. These subterranean abominations moved silently, their eyes filled with malevolence. Desperate to escape the nightmare that had unfolded, Emily and Mark raced deeper into the mine, hoping to find an exit. As they delved further into the darkness, they stumbled upon a chamber adorned with bizarre markings, resembling a sacrificial altar. A chill ran down their spines as they realized the significance of their discovery. The creatures closed in, and their only option was to decipher the strange symbols on the chamber's walls. Emily's geological expertise and Mark's knowledge of folklore proved invaluable as they deciphered the ancient rituals carved into the stone. They had unwittingly entered a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead had blurred. In a desperate bid for survival, they began a counter-ritual to seal the malevolent entities within the chamber once more. The earth shook, and the walls of the mine groaned in protest. The creatures fought back, their ghastly forms twisting and contorting, but Emily and Mark persisted. With a final incantation, the chamber's entrance collapsed, trapping the horrors within. Emily and Mark emerged from the depths, shaken and scarred by their ordeal. They had glimpsed the subterranean terror that lurked beneath the earth, a nightmarish world of forgotten rituals and unspeakable entities. As they made their way back to the surface, they couldn't help but wonder how many other hidden terrors lay buried beneath the earth, waiting for the curious and the adventurous to uncover them. The abandoned mines of West Virginia would forever remain a place of dread, a testament to the darkness that dwells in the depths of the world. Emily and Mark emerged from the depths of the abandoned coal mine, their bodies covered in grime and their minds haunted by the horrors they had witnessed. The eerie, glowing substance on the mine walls seemed to follow them like a malevolent specter as they made their way back towards the surface. Once bathed in the reassuring light of day, the pair vowed never to speak of their subterranean nightmare to anyone. They knew that few would believe the unimaginable horrors they had encountered beneath the Appalachian Mountains. Instead, they decided to focus on their work, hoping to bury the memories of that dreadful day deep within their minds. Years passed, and life continued on its relentless march. Emily and Mark went their separate ways, their paths diverging as they pursued their careers. Emily became a renowned geologist, while Mark chose to settle down in the quiet town near the mines, distancing himself from the horrors of that fateful expedition. But the buried nightmare of the underground would not remain dormant forever. One dark night, Emily received a cryptic letter, its contents chilling her to the bone. The sender claimed to have witnessed the same unearthly horrors they had encountered in the mine, and they begged Emily to return. Haunted by the memories and tormented by guilt for leaving Mark behind, Emily found herself compelled to return to the Appalachian Mountains. She couldn't shake the feeling that the nightmare they had sealed away had somehow resurfaced. As she arrived at Mark's doorstep, her former childhood friend greeted her with a somber expression. He too had received the same letter and was unable to ignore the call of the underground terror. Together, they set out once more to confront the horrors that had haunted them for so long. Descending once more into the depths of the mine, they found the eerie glow on the walls had grown more intense, as if the malevolent force they had trapped had gained strength over the years. The underground lake remained, its surface undisturbed, and the mine seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. As Emily and Mark ventured deeper, they discovered that the creatures they had sealed away had not been idle. The chamber that had once held them in check was now adorned with new, more sinister markings. It was clear that the malevolent entities were growing in power, fueled by the fear and darkness that permeated the mine. The creatures descended upon them with a vengeance, their grotesque forms more terrifying than ever. Emily and Mark fought valiantly, armed with the knowledge of the ancient rituals they had used to seal the creatures away. But this time, the entities were prepared, and the battle raged on with no end in sight. Desperation set in as Emily and Mark realized that they were outmatched. The creatures seemed to draw strength from the very mine itself, and their attempts to seal them away once more were met with failure. It became clear that the only way to stop the nightmare was to destroy the mine itself. With a heavy heart, Emily and Mark set explosive charges throughout the mine, determined to bury the horrors once and for all. As the detonation echoed through the tunnels, the mine collapsed in on itself, sealing away the malevolent entities in a tomb of earth and rock. Emily and Mark emerged from the mountain, exhausted and battered, but with a sense of closure they had longed for. They had confronted the buried nightmare once more and had made the ultimate sacrifice to protect the world from the horrors that dwelled beneath. The Appalachian Mountains held their secrets, but they were now safe from the subterranean terror that had plagued Emily and Mark for so long. As they looked out at the tranquil landscape, they knew that some secrets were best left buried, deep within the earth, where they could never harm the living again. After sealing away the malevolent entities that had plagued their lives for years, Emily and Mark thought that the horrors of the underground were finally behind them. They returned to their separate lives, carrying the weight of their shared secret with them, but believing they had put an end to the nightmare. Years passed, and Emily continued her work as a geologist, now specializing in environmental conservation. She had moved on from the past, finding solace in her efforts to protect the natural world. Mark, on the other hand, had become a recluse, rarely venturing beyond the boundaries of his remote home near the Appalachian Mountains. However, the events of that dreadful night had left an indelible mark on both of them, and the nightmare would not remain buried forever. Late one evening, Emily received an urgent phony call from Mark. His voice was trembling with fear, and he implored her to come to his cabin immediately. Without hesitation, Emily rushed to Mark's remote home, her heart heavy with dread. As she arrived, she found Mark in a state of near hysteria, his eyes wide with terror. He explained that he had been hearing strange whispers in the night, voices that seemed to come from beneath the earth. The echoes of their past nightmare had returned, and they realized that the malevolent entities they had sealed away were not gone, but merely dormant. Emily and Mark knew that they had to confront the subterranean terror once more, or else it would continue to haunt them and potentially unleash unspeakable horrors upon the world. Armed with the knowledge they had gained from their previous encounters, Emily and Mark descended into the depths of the Appalachian Mountains once more. The eerie glow on the mine walls had intensified, and the underground lake seemed to ripple with unnatural energy. The creatures, more malevolent and twisted than ever, awaited their return. Emily and Mark fought bravely, using the ancient rituals and their own determination to fend off the malevolent entities. But it became apparent that the creatures had learned from their previous encounters as well, countering their every move with cunning and viciousness. As they reached the heart of the mine, Emily and Mark realized that the only way to defeat the underground terror was to sever its connection to the source of its power, the underground lake. With great difficulty and sacrifice, they channeled their knowledge and energy into a final, desperate ritual to drain the lake. The mine shook violently, and the creatures screeched in agony as their source of power dwindled. With one last, mighty effort, Emily and Mark succeeded in collapsing the underground lake, sealing the malevolent entities within its depths forever. With the malevolent entities sealed once and for all beneath the collapsed underground lake, Emily and Mark emerged from the depths of the Appalachian Mountains, their bodies bruised and their spirits weary. The nightmare that had haunted them for years was finally over, and they could begin to rebuild their lives. As they stood together, gazing at the serene landscape bathed in the soft light of dawn, they felt a profound sense of closure. The subterranean terror that had bound them in a nightmarish cycle of fear and confrontation had been defeated. The Appalachian Mountains, once a place of dread, could now return to being a place of natural beauty and tranquility. Emily and Mark knew that they could never forget the horrors they had encountered, nor the sacrifices they had made to protect the world from the buried nightmare. However, they also recognized the importance of ensuring that the underground secrets of the earth remained undisturbed. Over the years, Emily and Mark dedicated themselves to environmental conservation efforts, working to preserve the natural beauty of the Appalachian Mountains and educate others about the hidden dangers that could lurk beneath the Earth's surface. They knew that some secrets were best left untouched and that the world above should remain unburdened by the darkness below. As time passed, their bond deepened, and they found solace in their shared experiences and their shared mission. The nightmares that had once haunted their dreams faded into distant memories, replaced by a sense of purpose and a commitment to protecting the world from the buried terrors that dwelled beneath. In the end, the subterranean terror they had faced had not only shaped their lives, but had also forged a friendship that was unbreakable. They understood that, together, they had confronted the darkness that lurked beneath the earth, and in doing so, they had found the strength to bring light to the world above. And so, Emily and Mark continued their work, safeguarding the secrets of the earth and ensuring that the buried nightmare they had faced would remain a distant memory known only to them. The Appalachian Mountains stood as a testament to their resolve, a place of beauty and serenity, where the horrors of the underground had been banished forever, leaving only the echoes of their bravery in the minds of those who dared to venture into the depths.